Welcome back, everyone, to the FloTrack podcast. I am Kevin. He is Gordon. Gordon titled this episode, if you're watching this live or got it archived, you can see the title, The Final Slow News Day Podcast. And the description says, Gordon and Kevin chat about track and field one last time before the 2023 season truly kicks off. One last time.
Where was the incorrect statement? Where was the lie? There's no lie.
Slow news day?
It is a very slow news day.
It is slow-ish, but talking about it one last time before the season kicks off. We're going to talk about it a bunch of times.
Basically, I'm trying to prepare our listeners and our viewers that this is going to be a bad podcast.
No, it's not a bad podcast. It's a podcast. You got to work a little harder on this podcast. You know, sometimes you go out, you have an easy run written down or an easy workout scheduled, right?
Yeah.
And that 5 miles easy is a little tougher. And then sometimes the miles breeze by. This might be a little bit more challenging, but we'll get the miles in.
Yeah. It's just like, I need actual real people running. I'm none of this like announcing of who's running a race 4 months from now, 3 months from now.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't need a lot of random Instagram posts or did you see Carson Warholm jump? Like,
dude, you are just crapping on all of my segment ideas.
I know.
For 2023.
But like, nothing has happened. There's been a couple of races. We're going to talk about them.
Yeah.
And then we're going to realize this is our A block. This is our B block.
I do agree with you. You can only do so many announcement stories before they start to get a little stale. You need some actual results.
Like, it's weird how, like, Milrose, they are milking their announcements.
They're doing a good job.
Announcing every individual athlete one by one by one.
Yeah. Oliver Horan.
Yeah.
In the race.
Did you hear that? He's a miler.
Yeah.
He's based in the U.S. and he's running at Milrose Mile.
I love it.
Shocker.
Hey, they're trying to get on the show and they're succeeding because they're pumping out the press releases. Okay, how about this one, though? Lamont Marcel Jacobs, Olympic gold medalist, running in Leven. Does that do anything for you?
I mean, he's the Olympic champion.
Yeah.
So sure.
World indoor champion.
Let's talk about it. Will he run 60 meters in Leven? I guess he will because he's on the start list.
Well,
what do we add to that conversation now?
Here's what I'm going to add to it. I'll add to this. Is it a sign he's healthy and back? Could be. He has scratched before.
Yeah.
So let's not pretend like this is a guarantee. He's also run this same race 2 years in a row. So I think we're going to get a pretty good benchmark early on of Lamont Marcel Jacobs and just how good is he going to be in 2023. Because he is the Olympic champion. Everybody's thinking
defending
the U.S.
indoor champion.
Everybody's thinking the U.S. can do another sweep in the 100. If he's healthy, he represents the best threat of the rest of the world to disrupt that sweep. Would you agree with that?
No, I think the Jamaican kid does.
Oblique Seville? Mm-hmm. Okay. So Seville, I would throw DeGrasse in there just because I'm never gonna say he's out of the mix. Maybe Akeem Blake would be in there. Maybe Ferdinand Omanyala. But I think Jacobs is number one. He'd be the number one threat to break up the U.S. sweep.
Okay, so at this meet in Leven last year, Jacobs ran 6:50.
Yep.
So that's good. Over under, does he run faster or slower?
I think he's gonna go faster.
You think he runs 6:4?
Yeah.
At Leven. Leven.
Because he's going to run before this, too. This won't be his opener. He already announced one in Poland earlier on in the indoor season. In general, Leven is just stacked. It's going to be a great meet overall. So I'm excited about checking this one out. What did he run it in 2021? What was his time in 2021 when he came to the same meet? I want to say he was in the 6.4s in that race.
At this meet, 6.54.
Okay, sorry, 6.54. And then he ended the year with a 6.
I mean, I think he's healthy because, I forgot about this. But I didn't realize that he ran at Europeans. I forgot about that, and he won
after the season.
And he ran 9:95.
Yeah, but there was no guarantee because he was healthy last indoor season, right?
Yeah,
and then he became unhealthy by the time World Championships rolled around and ran one round, and that was it. So it's more about the consistency that I'm curious about with Jacobs.
Kevin?
Yeah.
I'm just coming to this realization, 4 months too late, 5 months? I wish I would have had this take. But you look at Jacobs' results. He runs 10:04 in the heats at Worlds, then scratches because of injury. And then a month later, he runs 10 flat and 9:95. maybe he was just in 9-9 shape this entire time, and he knew 9-9 shape ain't gonna cut it against Curly, Bracy, Coleman, Rommel. And so maybe it was a business decision to scratch
Worlds? No,
and it wasn't an injury decision.
No, that doesn't make any sense. You saw him. We saw him in person. He didn't look right. Something didn't look right in that race.
I know, but he did go. I mean, the 10:04, and then a month later on 9:95.
That was a tough looking 10:04. And then in Euros, he looked a lot smoother. Also, 9-9. I mean, that final didn't end up being that fast. 9-9 wasn't that far away. I get it with Curly running as fast as he did in the first round. Everybody probably thought the winning time was going to be a lot faster, including you, because you thought it would be a world record. You were wrong, but it didn't end up being that quick. So I want to see more people enter the ring. Like a U.S. sweep the whole year, like talk of like a U.S. sweep of the whole year, and that being the only storyline for the men's 100. We've already done that. Okay. I want something new.
I'm going to full circle here now. I'm calling that I think his injury wasn't that big. He just wasn't as sharp, which is why he scratched. And because it wasn't a real injury, it was just a lack of sharpness. He's actually going to be really good in 2023.
When was the last time he ran?
And therefore, he's not going to be coming off a hard injury. He's going to be coming off of just not being sharp, which means he's going to dominate indoors and he's going to be running 9.8s outdoors.
When was the last time he ran before Worlds last year? What was his last race?
He ran a 10:12.
In what month?
June.
And then,
3 weeks
he ran a couple races, low-key races in Italy, right?
Yeah.
Am I remembering that correctly? Yeah. But then he got healthy, and then he got injured again. So it's not a sure thing, right? He's had injury issues before.
I think he's going to be good this year.
Jordan says, no U.S. sweep. Last year was just a perfect storm. Seville on the come-up. Jacobs injured. DeGrasse injured. The U.S. is going to have 4 in there.
I'm going all in on oblique Seville silver.
You cannot take the oblique Seville pick.
Why can't I?
Because you have Blake, Akeem Blake.
No, I had Blake in 2022.
I signed Seville to a
multi-year contract.
Exactly.
Well,
yes.
I didn't get that memo.
Yeah. You can't jump onto
Nobody told me this.
The Seville bandwagon is full.
No, I'm
already occupying it. Okay, if you want to get on, then you're gonna sit like behind me, like I'm in the captain's chair at this point. Yeah, and I charge to get on.
No,
prices go up.
My prediction is oblique Seville is gonna have a Johan Blake breakout season.
A Johan Blake breakout season and win the silver medal.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think you're allowed to do this.
I'm allowed to do this. There are no rules.
This would be like me saying, Emmanuel, I've believed in Emmanuel Career the whole time, and I think he's going to get the world record
like
this year.
Saying like Abby Steiner, I think that she's going to have a breakout.
Well, I didn't go crazy with the Grant Fisher pick. I'll let you have that on the show.
You don't get like proprietary like signature on people that you believe in.
Gregory says, Colt, you can mute Gordon. We don't have Colt today. We got Nico producing. But no, we're not going to mute Gordon today, right? Next story? You ready for the next story?
Seville. Silver. That's what I'm going with. All right.
You should have made that one of your... I guess that's not that bold.
It's not that bold.
But so you don't think the U.S. will sweep this year? Okay.
I mean, I might change my mind.
I mean,
in the heat of the moment, I'm going to be like, USA! But,
One of my bold predictions was that Lyles would sweep. Do the double, 1 and 2. So
that's not.
I guess if you combine our predictions, we have Lyles gold, Seville silver, a lot of upsets. Yeah. A whole new podium.
And I have Kenny B gold in the 2.
Yeah. I was talking the 100.
Oh, talking 100. Okay.
Other indoor stories. Jake Whiteman. I mean, I'm going to file this away on. We need to do a recurring segment of did this result matter? Jake Whiteman gets beat indoors running against Phil Sessman in a 3K. First of all, it's a 3K. Whiteman's more of an 8:15 guy. Also, this happened way early in the season. Exciting finish, but ultimately, this is one of those indoor results.
There's only been 2 interesting track races in January so far. This is one of them. We'll talk about the other one after this. But Whiteman took the lead and then fell apart and got beat by a marathoner.
Yeah, and it's a 3K, and it's January. I mean, I'd love to say this means something. I'd love to say Jakob Ingebrigtsen is sitting at home saying, it's all part of the plan. But I don't think it means anything.
I think it means something.
I do like how he went to the well
Yeah,
in
I think it
January and
means
dove
something.
across the line.
I think it means something.
Yeah, he's not a 3K runner. That's what it means. But no one thought he was.
He's not a 3K runner. They were running, what, 750 pace? If you are the world champion in the 1500, running a 750-ish 3K is not a like, whoa, I'm out of my element. Come on.
Yeah.
The guy, world-class athlete. He can run 750 pace and close.
So I think we need to do the ongoing segment of Gordon overreaction then. If you're saying this matters.
I think it matters. I think we're going to look back to this moment and be like, this was the beginning of the end.
Okay, really?
I think.
Are you saying that for real?
Jakob Ingebrigtsen is sitting currently in his loft. Mm-hmm. A loft.
He seems like a guy who has a loft, right?
A loft.
Yeah.
And he's just lofts. Like, tick tock, tick tick tick.
I don't think it means anything.
If this guy can kick down Whiteman, what do you think? Jakob.
Of course, in a 3K, no one's picking Whiteman to beat Jakob in a 3K. It was a 1500 they beat him.
They weren't running 730 pace, bro. They were running 750 pace. That's not a hard 3K effort.
It still doesn't matter.
So if that was a 1500, would you be thinking differently?
It would matter 1% more, but it's still not going to matter.
So then don't
anything.
use that argument. It's just a 3K. Even if it was a 1500, you would say the same thing. So
yeah,
you're using
doesn't matter. Here's the thing with Whiteman. Look at his whole season last year. He wasn't just a one race guy. Like he was having a good. Now it was still an upset.
Yeah.
But he put together great race after great race last year. Like he's solid. He's consistent. I'm not going to pick him to beat Ingebrigtsen again, but medal pick, sure. I'll go with Jake Whiteman. All right. What's the other result you want to talk about?
Hold on. Before we go to those, I'm going to look up Jake Whiteman. What was Jake Whiteman's opener last year indoors? Let's do a year over year. Let me check this out.
Interesting.
2022. He didn't even run indoors.
So he's ahead of where he was.
No, he did. He ran a 3K.
When did he run?
Oh my God, dang it.
When did he run?
He ran 750 and got second.
Gosh.
He ran this exact race and got second.
And the sky didn't fall down. What happened that year?
Who did he lose to?
What happened that year?
I got to find out who he lost to.
If he lost to Phil Sessman, then you need to leave the show at this point.
Who did he lose to?
Uh-oh. Gordon is looking up British Milers Club results.
This is going to be hard to find. 2022, British Milers Club. Wait, Shelf Pearl Indoors. He ran 750. This is killing my argument that he lost to a guy named Osama Meslek. And it was close.
Leeds City Athletic Club.
Who's this guy? Let's see what this guy.
We're Googling.
I think I need to retract all of my doubt now. He was Italian.
Okay.
He's a personal best 336 guy, 355 miler.
Did he run a marathon too?
No, he hasn't run a marathon. So, you know what?
You're wrong.
Jake Whiteman, if he wants to win a world title, he has to lose a 3K in January by less than a second. And basically, he's trying to repeat.
Won yet.
So if we do this, based on this information, we probably could correctly predict every race he's going to run because he's going to try to just mirror 2022. So that means Jake's next race.
What did he run? What was his time?
What? This year?
Yeah, this year. What was it?
Like 750 something?
Well,
he got second.
Was it slower or faster?
It was slower.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Jake Whiteman's next indoor race last year.
Yeah.
Well, you got fourth in a 3K at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix.
Well, he'll be going back to that, I'm sure, because he's a New Balance athlete.
And he's going to get fourth.
Well, it's not about fourth so much as
he's going to get the exact same finish.
I think the time is about
every race is going to be the exact mirror
7:54
of 2022 to 2023.
Jordan says no over distance indoor race in January matters. It's basically training and competition. Yes, that was my point. What was the other result?
Hold on. One last thing. None of it matters? Then why are we here?
Oh, listen to what Jordan said. No over distance indoor race in January. That's a lot of qualifiers there, but that matches up exactly with what Jake Whiteman did.
All right. Sorry, Jake Whiteman. I shouldn't have been so harsh. I take it back.
Yeah. Hope he got to the end of this segment.
I just want him to race Jakob.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Okay. All right. The other only interesting on the slow news day was something that happened.
Hold on. Someone says it sounds like you're using auto-tune with all the echo. The echoing back there? I can't hear it, Nico. We had some echo issues last time, too. Okay. That's just Gordon's voice now. He's trying out a new thing for 2023.
Yeah, T-Pain style.
He wants to be able to do a backflip, and he only is going to talk in auto-tune.
Well, by the way, speaking of the backflip.
How's it going?
Parents found out about the backflip.
Why?
They are not happy.
How'd they find out?
Someone leaked it to them.
They listen to the pod?
Yeah, someone listened to the pod, told
That's not
a
true.
family member.
Can't possibly have that many pod listeners. How'd they really find out?
No, you know remember the person that was in the chat?
Oh,
Leaked it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then
Gotcha.
So my parents are nervous I'm gonna hurt myself.
Yeah.
They
I
say
understand.
you're 35, you should not be doing
You need to
flips. You don't even know how to jump. They like called me out for not dunking. They're like, you can't even dunk.
Really?
You can't even do you're
That's
not gonna do a
awesome.
flip. Come
That's
on.
awesome. You need to do that one under supervision
Yeah, of
of
course.
trained professionals. No, you need an actual coach. You need a flip coach
Yeah. Flip coach.
because you need like things on your waist and a lot of pads.
Yeah. Anyway.
Tell us about the other result that you were interested in.
On the slow news day, the final slow news day of 2023.
Last one.
Last one.
We're never gonna have another slow news
Nope.
day.
This is the last one. Hobbs Kessler ran a 1K. That was pretty good, right?
I love how you're talking yourself into that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. He ran 220.
All right.
He beat Charlie Grice.
Sell me on this. Sell me why this is an important result.
He beat Charlie Grice, who's good.
Okay.
221. Ben Flanagan was 221. Morgan Beatlescombe was in this race, and he's a great miler, and he was all the way back in sixth in 223. Eric Avila was in here. Mason Furlick, he has some mile speed. But yeah, Hobbs Kessler is an interesting person. What are we going to get from him? How old is he now? I feel like it's been years since he was high school. But like,
Is he 20?
so 2021 was his high school year, right?
Was he graduating in 2021?
Yeah. So
So he would have been a freshman last year?
yeah.
So he was born in 2003, March 2003. So he's turning 20 in a couple months. So he's still 19.
Okay. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
born
this
in
is the
2003.
This is a situation we always run into when someone goes pro early. You lose track of how old they are. You compare them to pros instead of collegians. And that sometimes leads to inflated expectations.
So 2021, he runs 334. 2022, he runs 336. And with, new guys coming in and, Hawker doing really well and Yard Nagus doing his thing and John Davis coming out of college and running well. Like the idea that like Hobbs Kessler is like the next guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like
there's other
he's
guys.
not the next guy. He has to become the guy first.
Mm-hmm.
And we're kind of waiting on that. Now he still has a long runway ahead of him. Starting out well here, 220. It shows he's fit. But what do you think? Do you think this will be a year he actually not necessarily make top 3 at USA's, but when he's on the starting line, people will consider him a top 3 contender.
Well, that's the step, right?
Yeah, to become a
and
contender.
not even a top 3 guy, but just this guy's in the final, and maybe he could make some noise here.
Yeah,
right. As opposed to he got in,
because
last man in. And,
half
and
the
he
people
scored.
who make the final aren't making any noise, and we know that.
Yeah,
most 1500 finals, I could read 6 names. I'd be like, I will put $10,000 in not making.
Well, a lot of them run their final in the semis, and you're like, hey, you're probably just happy you're here. What was his? Read me last year's outdoor performances. What was outdoor last year like for Kessler?
For the 1500,
yeah,
you got second in a race, and then you got ninth running 338. Then you got fifth running 336. You got 11th running 337. You got fifth running 342. He got knocked out, and then
here's the thing:
yeah.
he
hasn't been winning races.
Yeah,
that's the
point I was going to arrive at, which is when people talk about college versus going pro, the thing that they say that's good about the NCAA system is getting a ton of experience
of winning races.
And if you're running a 1500 meter race, the tactics that go into it. Now, he's part of that Nick Willis kind of group there, so no shortage of information in terms of how to win races and how to position yourself, but nothing substitutes the actual live action that you get, right? The conference championships, and you have to run a bunch of races over a couple days, and you're trying to score points, and you're going against really good people. You're not going against the best people in the world, but you're going against really good competition. You're just learning to win. But here's the other thing, the most obvious thing. In order for the tactics to matter, you got to be in the race. So you got to be fast enough. So that's the other part too. Can he be in shape enough to where he's 335 guy all the time, and then have the tactical ability to make all the right decisions and have the experience necessary to, grab a top 3 spot or be a guy who makes noise? So there's two parts to this that I see. I guess I would like to see him make a leap in one of the two this year. And I think that would be good progress for him. But as you mentioned, it's not as if the men's 1500 right now in the United States is all old, right? Centro's a veteran. But then you mentioned Hawker. You got Tier in the mix. You got Nagoose. You talked about John Davis, who's been in college for a while, but he's not at the end of his career. He's at the beginning of his career as a pro. But there's plenty of people out there who are still early to mid 20s, and he's a couple years younger than them. But by no means is he a shoe-in to be the guy who replaces the old guard. There's not an old guard, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In the men's 15.
I will say this. One under, I don't even remember this performance, but Hobbs Kessler, we're talking about 1K. He ran 220 indoors. He did run 216 at Monaco.
That was last year.
Yeah,
Monaco.
He got 8th in the race. And 216, like, here are some of the names of people who've run 216
well, didn't
in
he
the
beat
US.
some people in that race, right?
Yeah, well, like Steve Scott,
Mm-hmm.
Josh Thompson, Nick Simmons, Bernard Lagat run 216. Bryce Hoppel ran 255.99 in that race. So like
215.
And Clay Murphy ran 215 in that race as well. So
yeah,
there's some good names who are in that range. So that's an elite company.
Yeah, so Whiteman ran 213, A-Rob 214. Then it was Murphy, Kinyamo, Hoppel, Thompson, Luke McCann, and then Kessler. So yeah, that is, again, but I would just want to see one of the two things. Hey, tactically, like, are you making improvements? Or, drop that PR, run a bunch of time trial races, so that way you're setting yourself up for 2024. I still think 2024, 2025 is going to be his best shot. This year, I still think you're playing with house money.
This year, it's get 5th.
He's still 20.
Yeah.
Like, the expectations seem to be that this guy is still 20.
Yeah.
And that he would be a sophomore in college, right? You said 2021 was his senior in high school. So this would be finishing his sophomore year in college.
Yeah.
With most middle distance runners, we wouldn't say as a sophomore in college, it's a disappointment if you don't make the team. No, it'd be like, whoa, they got 5th and 1500. That's pretty crazy.
You know who's a junior in college, but not anymore?
A lot of people. That's a weird question. Me?
No. Cruz Culpepper, who signed pro with NAZ Elite. Look at that transition I just threw down there.
Yeah.
Going from one teen sensation to another. Cruz Culpepper, not as heralded as what Hobbs Kessler obviously has done. Cruz Culpepper's 4-flat.
I do like I said, you know who's a junior in college, but not anymore. That's
well, not because he went pro.
Yeah.
At age 20, he's going to get coached by his dad, Alan Culpepper.
Yeah.
At NAZ Elite. Paige Stoner also going pro as well. Well, not going pro. She's already been pro. She's just joining the team. But what are your thoughts on Cruz Culpepper, who, he went to UW.
Right.
Got trained under Andy Powell.
Yeah.
Transferred sophomore year to Ole Miss.
Right.
Ryan Van Hoy leaves Ole Miss. So this will be another coaching change for him. If you include high school, it's 4 coaches in 4 years. You like this move?
Yeah, he kind of went under the radar.
Yeah.
For being, obviously who his parents are, and also how fast he ran in high school. And I wonder now.
He did run his 4-flat during the COVID year, so that's probably a big reason why, too.
Right. And also more people are running fast times.
Yes.
Lots of people are running sub 4s. So in one sense, there's more attention on these phenoms because of social media and everybody can see everybody's performance. But on the other side of things, there's a bit less just because the level of competition has gone up. So someone like him can go to college and kind of blend in. I don't know. I guess the thing you'd want to see would just be stability with coaching, and now being coached by his dad, you would think that would be the antidote to what's going on. I mean, PR, 357? Do I have that right? 341, 1500? That's what I'm seeing here.
Yeah. But 357 is like the 50th, a lot of times like the 30th best time in NCAA. So
yeah.
People are now running 355 to 352.
Again,
he's going to have to take a big leap.
Still young, though. It's not like when people...
When are you not young, according to you?
I would say like college age, right? So it's like I would give him until he would be out of college. So 22, 23. I mean, Stetson Bennett just won the NCAA title for Georgia at 25. That's pretty good, right? So, no, I think...
Connor Mance goes home decimated as the not doing the old
I
guy
just,
in school.
I don't know. Like, if I told you Cruz Culpepper this year is going to run 3:53, would you be surprised?
Yes.
You would? From
Yes.
57 to 53? I wouldn't. I mean, the talent, he has the talent, obviously. It's when
I'll be
people.
surprised if he breaks 3:55.
Really? Yeah, we'll see. Again, he's had a bunch of different coaches, so we'll see. I don't, training with Hoka, I don't really have a feel yet of that group now that they've changed coaches.
Yeah.
Paige Stoner's there. She's obviously more established as she's already been a pro.
Yeah,
before.
didn't she win USA?
Yeah,
marathon?
ran fast the marathon. So, that is we'll see.
Here's
her
a question:
bunch, too.
if
Yep.
Ryan Van Hoy doesn't leave Ole Miss, does Cruz Culpepper stay?
Don't know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. That's a question we'll never really answer. Yeah, Paige Stoner won CIM 226, and then 12th in the 5K, or sorry, in the 10,000 at USA. So I mean, her future's in the marathon, and NAZ Elite's been really good in the marathon, so that makes sense. But yeah, I guess there's just going back to Culpepper and Kessler to a certain extent. There's just so many people running times similar to that now. You don't really stand out.
Yeah.
Like in a way you would have, and you don't have all the attention, and you're not like, there's a time, 15, 20 years ago when someone running, 4 flat in high school, I mean, it wasn't, Alan Webb was what, 01? So yeah, I guess post Alan Webb it was a big deal then, right? There was still a long break, and then Verbeekis came along, and it's like, oh, okay, like this person could be the up and coming superstar. Now, it's not though. Let's not confuse that with the U.S. at the top end. It's not the U.S. is producing a ton of 332, 331 runners, right? We know that we've kind of been stuck in that same sort of spot in terms of time and depth. But there's just so many between, what would you say, 333 and 336?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a glut of 1500-meter runners. So you got to get into that range to even be in the mix, because not everybody's going to have a bad day at USA's at the same time. And there's so many people within just a couple seconds of each other there.
Over under making a final for Cruz Culpepper in 2023.
Making a final?
U.S. final.
Top 12? I don't know. Honestly, I think like semis would be good. Right?
Yeah.
That's,
I agree.
I mean, Thomas says all the U.S. 1500-meter runners better find a hot race early to mid-outdoor season with the standard being so fast. Or are they going to be doing the math? Are they going to be looking at world rankings? What would your strategy be if you were a 1500-meter runner and you were in that time range of, it might be a little bit of a reach to get the time standard? Like, would you still just press and try to go for it? Or would you be looking up all the races with the best points?
I would look up the races with the best points.
And just run a bunch of 340s?
Yeah. And then I'll tell like the person who's better than me, hey, how much is your appearance fee? $500? I'll give you $501 if you scratch. Okay. Boom.
Then you're in.
I'll have a budget. I'm not sure how much my budget would be, but I have like a $10,000 budget. I'll just put all my per diem into bribing athletes faster than me to drop out of random Continental Tour races.
That's one way to do it.
Increase my ranking. And then boom, I'm an Olympic champion.
You have to bribe them to get out of the Olympics too.
Oh, you don't think people, I think we talked about this. Like, how much money would an Olympic athlete accept to like sacrifice a year of getting a medal? I think they would. I think if you give an Olympian $1 million, they'd be like, yeah, I don't need the medal. I'll try next year.
Culpepper last year made the first round, got 7th.
Okay.
So I stand by it. Try to make a good goal, make the next round, right? Make the semis. He's, I guess, 02, so that would mean he's 1 year older than Kessler, which is weird to think about. All right. What's next in your Slow News Day show?
The Boston field is announced.
The men's.
The men.
Yeah.
Which, I'm going to be honest. So we do, you cut up the clips and I create thumbnails for the clips.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wasn't paying attention. I put a male thumbnail on the women's Boston Marathon field announcement clip.
Oh, did you fix it?
No.
I put women's in the title.
I know.
You need to go fix it.
Oh, I just kept it. I was just like, let's just zag a bit, you know?
No, dude. You got
so then what I'm thinking about doing is
today put the women's on the men's.
Put the women's on the men's, and then everyone's like, what's going on? And then they're clicking back and forth on each clip. It's like, do they know they did this? And then we increase our viewership.
I think you're overestimating, excuse me, how much people care about
the thumbnail.
Yeah. So we already knew Kipchoge, Chebet. You got Gabriel Gay in there from Tanzania who ran 2:03 flat in Valencia. We talked about Benson Kiprutu. But this has all the stories in it.
Yeah, Nico, if you scroll down on that screen grab, you can see the full list in the chart form.
Right. So you have Kipchoge, who's in a class of itself, but then you have a group there that could all claim to be number 2, who we're going to be watching. Then you have, I don't know, like, I'm interested in Daniel Do Nascimento. Remember how fast he went out in New York City? Like, what's he going to do in Boston? And then you go down to the American side, right? And you have Mance and you have Fauble. Do you think with Mance, I think this is fun because he already did the faster course in Chicago, and now he's doing the tactical one, the championship style one. So we're going to get to find out early on which type of style suits him best. Do you have a lean in how you think he'll do in this?
I think he's going to give Kipchoge a run for his money.
No, seriously though.
I mean, Conor Mance likes going to the lead. How great would it be to see like Conor Mance, like
maybe
Kipchoge looking like, who is this kid? You know, people are doing that in cross country season. I feel like
my prediction
Shez was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, my prediction is Kipchoge is going to run sub 2:03 and break the course record, but by accident. Like he's not going to go out with the purpose of doing it. He's just going to be following the pack, and maybe they go out fast, maybe they go out slow because it's Boston and it's unpredictable. But he's just going to be so good. But I want to talk about Mance though.
Okay,
tell me what you honestly think about Mance's chances. Part of me thinks he's flat and fast is better for him because he's such a grinder, right? Go to hammer. But then also having hills, making it a little bit more challenging, probably plays into his favor a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what to think.
I think Kipchoge's gonna ruin a lot of these number 2 guys' chances.
Yeah,
because people are gonna get a little overconfident because of the way that the race is gonna play out, and I think Kipchoge's gonna make a lot of people start. Kipchoge's going to cause a lot of these other 203, 204, 205 guys to burn out. I think the Americans are not going to go with Kipchoge. They're just going to chill.
Yeah.
And therefore, I think Mance will find a way to be like, whoa, Mance is in 8th. Oh, whoa. Another guy dropped out. He's in 7th now. And then all of a sudden, we're like, Mance gets 4th or 5th. Probably 5th.
But do you think long term, are we in 10 years going to be talking about Mance as the better championship style marathoner? Or time trial style marathoner?
It's going to be championship.
You think so?
You're 208. You're not. No American is his first one. No American is going to ever be a time trial runner until we start actually running 204s and 203s.
Well, no, I didn't mean is he better relative to. I meant more like what's he comparative to himself? Like what's he better at? Is what I'm saying.
You say compared to other Americans.
Okay, that's a more succinct way to put it.
Yeah, because time trial against the rest of the world, Americans are coming in last.
Well, no, they're coming in behind 3 or 4 countries, and then in front of a lot of countries.
And there's more than a lot of people.
There's more than 3 or 4
Americans look good when we only let Kenya and Ethiopia bring 3.
Okay,
we look all of a sudden like, whoa, that's not that bad. It's like, well, if they let everyone in,
so if
50th.
If it was U.S. only, Rupp wouldn't have gotten 50th. Stop. If it was U.S. only, would you say he'd better in championship or time trial? Still championship?
Time trial, if it's U.S. only. Championship, if it involves the world.
Okay. I'll allow that.
Yeah. I mean, you'll allow it.
I mean, that's
you like policing my speech here?
Well, you're the one who's... All right, Elon, calm down here, dude. We got a question. Can Noah Lyles break the 200 record again? American 200 meter record.
That's out of left field.
Well, we have nothing left.
Why are you just reading random people's comments?
We ran through your entire slow news day.
What did you contribute to the slow news day?
No, that's why I said it was your slow news day show. Oh, Boston Marathon. I put that one on there. Men's field. I got to admit, when I saw Jacobs reaching for the event, I was running for the event. I was like, that's a reach. I was like, we're going there, huh? All right.
Well, where did you think we were gonna go?
That's a great question. It was slow, but you don't want to talk about whether or not Lyles can break the 200 American record?
Yes, I think he can.
Okay.
We've talked about that, though.
You think he's going to break the world record this year, but lose?
I think he's going to be flirting with the world record this year. I'm not sure if he'll break it, but he'll flirt with it.
You're hedging.
And then he's going to lose.
Another hedge.
That's not hedging. I never said he was going to break the world record.
Run the tape
I said
back.
I could see him breaking the world record. I could see it. I didn't predict it. I said I could see it.
But then Kenny B gets him at.
But I am predicting that Kenny B will beat him at Worlds.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know. And then Lyles.
If that happens, if those two things happen, I will leave the show.
Why?
You'll be unbearable at that point. But it'll be.
I think I'm just all in on the Kenny B beating No Lyles. All the other predictions.
Here's what I'm very confident.
I'm
very confident that they will both make it to that start line. So you'll have a ticket to ride.
Yeah.
Like you'll be there on whatever August 12th or whatever day it is. Later than that, I think.
This is my moment.
Hey, this is your moment. And you'll be like, I'm in the mix. He's there. He made it this whole way.
So,
as if you're picking like a long shot Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
It's like, no, man. We know who's going to be in the finals.
I'm telling you.
That'll be a fun game to play. How many of the finalists can we predict right now in certain events?
That'll be fun.
And
then like see how good we are.
Yeah. Like what's your finalist prediction success rate? What event are you the most confident that you could get?
Go 8 for 8?
Yeah. Or whatever that highest number is, percentage wise. You could do 10K too. If you want to do 25.
I'd probably be most confident women's 200.
Mine would be men's 400 hurdles.
Actually, that's true.
Like I know
women's 200 I take back because it's gonna be hard to pick the 3 Americans.
You know who's gonna scratch.
Yeah.
Listen. Here's who's gonna be the men's 400 hurdle final already. I know this. Benjamin, Dos Santos, Warholm, Bassett's gonna be in there.
That's half.
Yeah, and then Mike McMaster will be in there. Maggie will probably be in there. I might get the whole thing right, actually, now that I think about this.
Let's do it.
Let's say this.
Here we go.
Let's say this for Friday.
No, Friday is we're previewing an incredible weekend of track and field.
Is that the title already? How incredible is it going to be?
Oh, it's going to be spectacular. Let me tell you what's going down. At the Arkansas invite, the Clemson invite, UW indoor preview.
Don't spoil our
Jimmy Carnes invite, VA showcase, Bob Eubanks
Friday
open,
show.
Houston half.
Didn't there ever be a Gordon Mack invite?
There used to be a Gordon Mack invite. Should I start my own track meet?
Should there be? And how soon until it would just be one event? Because that's what you would want.
Yeah.
All right, men's 400 hurdles last year. Dos Santos, Benjamin Bassett, Happio, Rosser, Hyde, Warholm, Maggie. Okay, so actually McMaster didn't make it. Oh, he scratched out. I think he'll come back. Let's say he comes back. Happio's good, so I'll put him in there. That's my 8. Dos Santos, Benjamin, Bassett, Warholm, Maggie, Happio, McMaster. I'm very confident.
Quincy Hall.
I'm very confident Trevor Bassett's going to make it.
Quincy Hall.
Like he had a big year last year, but he'll make that final.
All right, let's check out. We're gonna do one little sleuth in this.
Got another question here from the chat. Ready?
Yeah.
From Adrian. Will Brazier make a comeback? What do you think?
Definition of comeback is like to 142.
Let's just say, does he make the team?
He hasn't run since. When's the last time he's run?
USA's, wasn't it?
Does he make a comeback? I mean, I'm a big Brazier guy, so I don't want to predict no. It just seems not as fun.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, yeah. I think because of the way the 800 is, I think it's possible for him to be back. 100%. If it was like a different event, I was like, this is an incredible event, like the 200.
Yeah.
Like a person who's injured trying to get back into the 200, I would say no. But being injured trying to get back in the 800, I think there's a path. So yes.
Yeah, if he doesn't come back, like make like big picture doesn't make a comeback. I'm not even saying come back to running American records and winning gold medals. I'm just saying, can he come back to being a guy who's a medal threat? That would suck. if like we haven't seen, like if we saw the last of it, because that just
How old is he?
he was so good. He was so good. He was born in '97, so like 26 or so. I mean, do you remember?
25.
Do you remember when he ran in 2020 when he ran that 3:35 and he looked like he was jogging in the 1500?
Dude.
We were like 8 and 15, 8 and 15. Like this is gonna happen. This is gonna be the guy. Like we're gonna see it. That's incredible. Like 3:35 is no joke, and he ran it looking like super smooth. Then doesn't make the, gets hurt 2021, doesn't make the team. He was right there. And then looks like, okay, 2022, he's back. Was doing the 400 stuff. Remember that? Remember the 400 stuff? In 2022, made the team in the quarter for Worlds, but didn't run it, and then wanted to run the 4x4 instead. And then ran that one Doha race where he ran 150. And then you're like, uh-oh, I don't know what's going on. And then banged up again. You don't want to see anybody's career cut short, obviously, but it's like, I just remember that night in Doha in 2019. It was like, this is the beginning of something.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's going to rip off like a bunch of golds in a row. So I hope he's back.
And he has 3 years to get at least one more like moment, right?
Yeah.
2023 Olympics and then 2025.
It's all health, right? In the beginning of his career, it was figuring out the rounds, strategy, and like big meet racing. Now it's just all health at this point. And it's just, you have one little injury that cuts out your explosiveness, and like at this level, it's like you're out of the picture like that quickly. It's just, I hope he's back. I hope we get it. Jordan says, what does FloTrack think of Omar McLeod's 2023 prospects? So the Jamaican men's high hurdles is tough to make, right? Now, like that is a tough group. We always talk about the men's 100 in Jamaica, but men's high hurdles, obviously you have Hansel Parchment, who Olympic champion. You had Rashid Broadbell. I'm pulling up the 2022 list right now.
He did run 13:17 last year, but then something happened. I think he got hurt in the final at Jamaica Trials, and then
I remember that. Yeah,
he finished last.
There was a bunch of questions about that.
It's there, like the skill is there. The question, it's going to be health, right?
Yeah. So Broadbell,
I think a healthy Omar still has at least 2 more years in him.
Yeah. So Broadbell 12.99, Parchment 13.08, and then McLeod 13.17. That was 2022. Yeah. 2021, Levy was in there with 13.06. I mean, Damian Thomas, LSU grad 13.11. Like they have like 5 guys who are capable of putting it together, and 2 guys in particular, in Broadbell and Parchment, who seem to be in a position to challenge for gold right now. So, yeah, Jamaican high hurdling is in its golden era, I would say right now. I mean, Orlando Bennett 13.18 last year, but Broadbell's the guy I wonder about. Right, young, broke 13, beat Grant Holloway, pretty good resume. Jordan says he's back with the coach who made him world indoor, outdoor, and Olympic champion. We'll see. A lot of coaching changes, too. All right, let's leave it there. Anything we didn't get to, we'll save for Friday, because we think Friday's going to be a big show, but I don't think Friday's not going to be that big of a show.
Friday's going to be an incredible show.
Houston half preview, all those track
Arkansas
meet previews.
Invite preview.
Yes.
Clemson invite.
Tune in for that Arkansas Invite preview.
Do we have any emails?
One email telling us to stay on topic. They must have not listened to my disclaimer the previous episodes. We got to send out some gift cards.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Yeah, to the people who want it. So we'll get on that. Thanks to Nico for producing and filling in. We sure appreciate it. For my co-host Gordon, I'm Kevin. Subscribe if you haven't yet to the FloTrack podcast.
And like it.
And subscribe.
Hit that notification bell.
Just
That's what the kids are saying these days.
Yeah. Email FloTrackPodcast@gmail.com. We'll talk to you guys on Friday.
Peace.